Hello, I'm Arnold Lowrey. I'd like to do a snow scene, and I want to show you how to produce a stark quality in it which will illustrate the big chunks in light and dark and also strong colour against neutrals. So let's get on with it. I'm first of all going to wet the sky so it gets nice and soft. There's a few dribbles gone down onto the snow area, so I'm going to just dry that off there. Right, for the sky area, I'm going to mix some cobalt blue and a touch of cadmium red. And have a main thing is to get this sky to be a neutral colour. A little bit more blue down this end now. I might even lift out a few suggestions of clouds as well. So a little bit of kitchen roll. And, making sure that the shapes you're producing is going to be not predictable. Right, the next job is to paint the strong colours of the roofs. I'm going to use some gamboge for this, quite strongly. And also that roof there. And I might, just to make it a little more interesting, put just a little touch of cadmium red into it as well. So I bring my brush pick up once and I just there we are. So it's not just a flat colour. The background church, I think we'll use the same colours as the sky, but a bit stronger. I think the next job is to paint the houses on the wall side. So we're going to, first of all, I think we'll put some burnt sienna in. Perhaps even some yellows in here as well, some gamboge. And again, over here, some burnt sienna. Again on the chimney pots. And now I'm going to make some real strong darks into this. I just want some light to be coming a little bit out of there. I have this a little bit halfway house here. And I think we can go darker still. Let's go darker still. Yes, that's better. And actually, when you do look up to the light, things do get darker because the eyes shut down when they are looking into the light. All right, and perhaps put a little window in here. Right, the next job is to create some very strong trees around here. Hold this end of the brush down and hit it with a corner. So you hit it with the side of the hairs and not the point. And then you create that lovely sparkle. Put it up to the edge, you see, and you can pull away. Have some nice sparkle for the snow. And perhaps we'll just change colour a little bit. Maybe we'll change colour a little bit more. And perhaps we put a few tree trunks in here as well. And maybe some dry leaves here. Dead leaves. Let's put in a fence here as well. Let's just scrape that out. And I think it will make this silhouette more interesting if I put a few chimney pots on here as well. We'll just sharpen these up a little bit. Now on this side, we want to continue the trees. We'll take this up to the edge and round the corner. Always think of these silhouettes, okay? It's very important to get that sorted out. Something a bit darker. And, the bottom edge will make nice and sparkly to indicate the snows. I don't know what those are, but they look interesting, don't they? We'll have another in here. And maybe put some in there. And then perhaps we'll put a fence line in here. Always try to make the fence look a little bit old in shape, and then it always looks more interesting then. Now what we haven't got is the shadows, isn't it? So we'll have to put some shadows in now. And we'll clean our palette. And we'll mix some shadow up. Gonna mix some cobalt and a little bit of permanent rose. A little touch of cadmium red. We want the light from behind and coming this way, so this is going to be in the shadow, isn't it? And these are going to cast shadows over here. This is going to cast shadow as well. And this is going to cast shadow there. And these trees are going to cast shadows. And these are going to cast shadows. And these are going to cast shadows. shadow there. And then maybe you can have just the odd, perhaps undulation in the ground, which is casting up a shadow there. The main thing is to have a shape that's interesting. If you haven't got that, then you've got nothing. And get involved in your picture. I think someone once said you can have all the technique in the world, but if you feel nothing, it means nothing. So get some feeling into it. And perhaps we'll have some shadows mix a bit more shadow up. From something stage left here, and that can be creating a cross there, can't it? Maybe even just catch a little bit of dappled light where the light is going through those trees, and that breaks up that shadow a little bit then. Let's look at our shapes now and see if we can improve them at all. Maybe some extra trees in here. And in fact, we could make them darker here. Everything is relative to what it's next to. That looked very dark beforehand, but now it looks light compared with that. And yes, we can have some extra trees, maybe in there. And perhaps we'll just darken that there. And by doing that, we can also make a little shadow across that end. And I think a little bit of dark under here wouldn't be amiss too. And maybe a little bit of texture on that, because it looks a little bit plain. I think that will be more interesting. And then a little bit in there, and we're almost done now. And maybe a little bit of shadow across there too. That's it. Those little bits have made our silhouettes look just that bit more interesting, and I think we'll call it a day at that. If you use powerful contrasts in your paintings, like the intense colour against the neutrals, the darks against the lights, then you create a starkness in your picture, which is just one of many emotions that you can create. And remember, emotions are the thing that you're trying to tell people about, not how cleverly you can paint detail. That's the difference between art and craft. So go for it.